There is a machine that runs beneath the surface of the American dream. It doesn't care about your politics, your protests, or your social media posts. It is a logistical engine designed for one purpose: removal. It starts with a knock at 5 a.m. and ends with a pressurized cabin on a flight to a country you haven't seen in 20 years.
Most people think ICE is just the police. They're wrong. ICE is a federal corporate entity. It has a board of directors in D.C., regional managers in every major city, and a sales force on the streets tasked with meeting a quota of human lives.
You are about to enter the back room of the Department of Homeland Security. You will start as a number in a Georgia classroom and end as a political ghost in Washington, wielding a multi-billion-dollar budget. This is your life as every rank of an ICE agent. Choose your vest. The plane is boarding. You are at Glencoe, Georgia, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. In the old days, this was a 6-month grind. Not anymore. It is 2026, and the mission has shifted from investigate to surge. You are part of the new wave, the 47-day wonders. Your training has been stripped to the bone. They've removed the Spanish language classes. You're told to use a translation app on your government-issued phone. They've cut the deep dives into constitutional law. You only need to know enough to sign a warrant. Your life is a blur of tactical drills and physical exhaustion. You spend 8 hours a day in the neighborhood, a mock-up of a suburban street, learning how to breach a door without a knock and announce. You learn how to identify targets in a crowded room and how to apply zip ties in under 3 seconds.
You aren't a detective. You are being forged into a biological cog for a logistical machine. You're paid $50,000 a year to be a pair of boots. You don't ask about the why yet. You just practice the grip when you're Glock 19 and wait for your assignment.
You have no badge yet. You have no power. You are just a mannequin in a gray jumpsuit, waiting for the system to give you a name.
You have graduated. You are now a GS7, pulling in roughly $65,000 a year with overtime. You wear the dark navy tactical vest with the bold white ICE block letters on the back. For the public, you are the face of the machine.
You aren't assigned to a desk. You are assigned to a fugitive operations team. Your workday starts at 4 a.m. in a darkened parking lot, huddled over a ruggedized laptop. You are looking at a target list, a digital spreadsheet of names, last known addresses, and biometric data. In 2026, the tech has evolved. You aren't just guessing. You're using Stingray cell site simulators to ping a target's phone and ALPR, automatic license plate recognition data, to track where they buy their groceries.
Your job is the knock. You stand on a porch in the pre-dawn cold, your hand resting on your sidearm, while your partner rings the bell. You don't need a judicial warrant to enter a home. You need consent or an administrative warrant. You've become a master of the Columbo style of questioning. Friendly, casual, until the moment the target confirms their identity. Then the zip ties come out.
By noon, you've processed 4 removals. You spend the afternoon in a sterile processing center, taking fingerprints and digital retina scans. You see the same look in every pair of eyes, a mixture of terror and a strange, hollowed-out acceptance. You learn to stop seeing them as fathers, construction workers, or students. If you see them as people, you can't do the job. You see them as files. You are a biological transport mechanism. You pick up a file at a house and drop it off at a detention center. You are the muscle of the back room, and the pavement is your office.
You've survived 5 years on the street. You are now a Supervisory Detention and Deportation Officer, SDDO, a GS-12. Your salary has jumped to 6 figures, but you've traded your tactical vest for a polo shirt and a radio. You no longer knock, you authorize. You sit in a glass-walled office overlooking the processing floor. You manage a team of 15 officers. Your life is governed by the dashboard, a real-time software interface that tracks enforcement actions across your district. DC has sent down the monthly quota. Your unit needs 200 removals. If you hit 180, your field director is breathing down your neck. If you hit 210, you're a hero.
Your job is a constant ethical triage. A local news crew is outside because your team accidentally picked up a grandmother with no criminal record. You have to decide. Do you release her and look weak to your superiors? Or do you double down and process her to keep your numbers up?
You spend your nights drafting operational plans for large-scale raids on commercial warehouses. You aren't chasing individuals anymore. You are harvesting sectors. You are the middle management of the machine. You are the one who ensures the conveyor belt never stops moving, even when the gears are screaming.
You are now an Assistant Field Office Director, AFOD. You've reached GS13 or GS14. Your salary is roughly $130,000, but your soul is measured in bed space and flight manifests.
You no longer carry a gun. You carry a tablet that shows a live feed of detention management. You are the landlord of a shadow city. You oversee thousands of detainees in high-security facilities, some owned by the government, most owned by private prison corporations. Your life is a constant battle of inflow versus outflow.
In 2026, the detention system is at a breaking point. Your job is to find room where there is none. You spend your mornings on the phone with private contractors, negotiating the cost per bed, ensuring the standard of care is high enough to avoid a lawsuit, but low enough to stay under budget. You manage the medical triage, deciding which sick detainee gets treatment and which one is stabilized just enough to be put on a plane.
But your real power lies in ICE Air. You are the architect of the flights. You coordinate with the Air Operations Hub to schedule chartered 737s. You don't see faces anymore. You see units of transport. You have to fill 150 seats by Tuesday. If you have 140, you're wasting taxpayer money. You pressure the level 2 officers to find 10 more removables to justify the fuel cost. You sit in a soundproof office with a view of the airfield. You watch the white planes with no markings taxi down the runway. You know that once those wheels leave the ground, they are no longer your problem. You are the king of the pipeline, ensuring the machine never gets backed up. You are to cop. You are a shipping manager for the most controversial cargo on Earth. You are a field office director, FOD. You've reached the top of the GS15 bracket, earning upwards of $180,000. You are the general of your area of responsibility, AOR. You oversee a territory that might cover 3 entire states, thousands of employees, and a budget that rivals the GDP of a small nation.
Your office is no longer at the processing center. You are in a high-rise downtown, surrounded by glass, mahogany, and a phalanx of administrative assistants. You don't wear a uniform, and you don't carry a radio. Your primary tools are a secure VoIP phone and a calendar full of meetings you can't talk about.
Your day is a high-wire act of political survival. In the morning, you're in a video conference with the director in DC, being grilled on why your removal numbers dipped by 3% this quarter. In the afternoon, you're meeting with the mayor of a sanctuary city who is threatening to cut off your access to local jail data. You have to be a diplomat in public and a shark in private. You offer law enforcement grants with one hand and prepare subpoenas with the other.
The paranoia of the backroom finally sets in. You are responsible for every mistake made by every level 2 officer on the street. If an arrest goes viral for the wrong reasons, it's your face on the evening news. You spend thousands of dollars on media consultants to spin the narrative. You have reached the ceiling of the field. You have all the power in your region, but you are a slave to the agency image. You have become the human embodiment of a federal statute, unfeeling, rigid, and always watching the clock.
You have reached the peak of the pyramid. You are the Executive Associate Director of ERO. You sit in the front office at ICE headquarters in Washington, D.C. You are no longer a GS-level employee. You are Senior Executive Service, SES. Your salary is capped by federal law, but your power is nearly limitless. You oversee a budget of $10 billion. You direct the operations of over 20,000 employees across 25 field offices and dozens of international outposts. Your world is a sterile, high-security vacuum. You don't see the 47-day wonders in Georgia, and you certainly don't see the 5 a.m. knocks on the street. You see the big, beautiful bill. In 2026, your primary directive is the execution of the mass removal mandate. You aren't just managing an agency, you are managing a national movement. You spend your mornings at the White House, briefing the National Security Council.
You spend your afternoons on Capitol Hill testifying before hostile committees, defending your use of surplus funding to build massive temporary holding structures in the desert. At this level, you are the architect of the invisible wall. You decide which countries are recalcitrant, those who refuse to take their citizens back, and you work with the State Department to squeeze them until they comply. You are the one who authorizes the charter surges, sending 50 planes a day into the sky. The paranoia is gone, replaced by a cold, surgical detachment. You are a ghost in a $3,000 suit. You have spent 30 years climbing a ladder made of files, and now you sit at the top, watching the data points move across the map of the United States. You have built the machine, and now the machine runs itself. You aren't just an agent anymore. You are the system.
Administrations change, policies shift, protests rise and fall like the tide. But the backroom doesn't care. Whether the budget is $4 billion or $10 billion, the engine of removal continues to hum. The ranks will always be filled. There will always be a new level 1 recruit in Glencoe, Georgia, practicing his grip on a Glock and waiting for his first knock. Because in the end, the machine isn't built of steel or concrete. It's built of people. People who started just like you, wanting to serve, wanting a career, wanting to belong, until they realize that the only way to stay in the back room is to become part of the wall. Welcome to the agency. The plane is waiting.